welcome to Sagamore Wood Shop. This is my first YouTube video, so forgive me if I appear a bit awkward. Talking to yourself alone on camera in most cases usually means you're up to no good or slightly insane. Now, the purpose of this channel is twofold. I'm going to be showcasing various projects I'm working on with the ultimate intention of selling them or taking commissions. The second aspect is, as I'm going to be talking about, is sculpting, modeling, and carving. In many ways, they're the same thing, but ultimately sculpting, or modeling as it can be called, is an additive method. Generally speaking, it starts with clay and you build up a figure and carve into it slightly as you go, but it's infinitely easier because you can make mistakes and correct them fairly easily. Carving, however, is much harder. It's a reduction process, meaning you start with a block of some material, either wood, marble, or something, and you carve into it and remove till you get the figure or image that you're aiming to do. The advantage to it is that compared to the other method of modeling, it yields a finished piece as is, whereas modeling generally involves making molds and casting clay work into other materials. Both methods I've done, and I enjoy both, and I prefer clay sculpting because of the obvious ease that you can work with. But carving is something I'm trying now, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm improving. It's still a little awkward, but I'm enjoying it a great deal, and I think I'm getting better and better at it. So as I go to talking about both of these methods, I'm going to travel around different places and give some examples of such work. Now, being from New York, we're surrounded by civic artwork, architectural, memorial, and religious works. But as you know, you might not even have thought about much that involves a sculpture almost of every toy you ever grew up with. Say, for boys, it might be a G.I. Joe toy or a Star Wars figure. For girls, a Barbie or dolls of some sort. But the commonality of these toys and others is that at some point they were sculpted by an artist. Molds were made, and through production, toys. So sculpture is all around us, from all things like that to everyday items. Some are flashy and some are utilitarian. But the commonality is they all started with an idea and were executed by hand. Now, the processes for almost all of these things have changed. So much going digital, and no clay, marble, wood, or other medium is being used other than a bunch of ones and zeros. And that's fantastic on some levels. It can ultimately create things that would have been difficult to do before or even cost effective. But it's important to keep the traditional methods alive. And that's essentially what I aim to celebrate and talk to you about. Now, with the advent of computer-assisted design and computer-controlled carving, items can be created in a manner that no human hand is involved directly with. Everything can be designed and sculpted digitally and carved in negative or a positive fashion by a computer-controlled carving tool. Now, meaning if Michelangelo, if he was alive today, could use a program like ZBrush and sculpt the David within a digital environment, and then send that file to a computer-controlled carving tool with a block of marble and hit start. And it would carve his design for him. Now, interestingly, it's still his work, regardless of whether he designs in the computer or not. It's just his vision, and the machine is just executing it. It's just a different type of tool. But would it hold as much resonance to us now, without the work being done by hand? Now, digitally, you can alter and correct your design infinitely, as I mentioned. In the real world, carving marble by hand meant if you screw it up in some ways, you have to start over. And that adds to the potential ethical dilemma. Is art diminishing because the tools involved in its creation differ, or is it the design or how it's produced doesn't really matter? It's the idea that matters. Or is it a combination of both? Personally, I think computer-aided design is a wonderful thing, but ultimately, in context for art's sake, I'm a little less inclined. Now, a digital file can be altered, shared, and scanned from something existing and manipulated to be called one's own. So Michelangelo's David could be manipulated digitally and changed so someone else could call it theirs because they changed different aspects of it, reduced the size, flipped it, inverted, whatever. It's kind of akin to music sampling. A song is layered with another artist's refrain or tune, and now maybe it's called someone else's. Maybe that started out innocently enough, but it's overused now, and most people should maybe just try writing their own stuff. But then again, there's a history of music being used as something else. Our national anthem, of course, is based on an old English drinking song, appropriately enough, or a Christmas song, Greensleeves, which is common to be here around Christmas, and it became What Child Is This? So, in the end, great artists steal, good artists borrow, or something akin to that. Now, this is my first venture into this territory. I would like you to please subscribe, add comments as you see fit, offer any suggestions. Please refrain from ones using four-letter words. And hopefully we can all learn something together and find something to share in this beautiful world that sometimes doesn't quite appear as wonderful as it could be. Now, take care.